This is just a progress report video done on a cheap $25 cell phone, so don't expect it to be anything great. I really like these Pragotron clocks. They were made in Czechoslovakia from the 1950s, and I believe they're still making them. The majority of these clocks are slave clocks, and that means that they were governed by a master clock, which sent impulses to them, and every 1 minute they would go chunk, and the clock would move forward 1 minute. These are very fashionable, and they're good-looking clocks. And you can buy them online, but they're pretty expensive, especially this model on the mahogany veneer board, which is 16 inches square in its original form. And you can see here, I think, the Pragotron logo of 4 clocks at 8 o'clock in the morning or evening. But somebody's asking $410 for this clock, which is a nice looking clock, plus $110 shipping to the United States. That's $520. That's a bit like more than what I'd like to pay for a clock. So I decided to see if I could make one on my own. First of all, I needed a mahogany veneered wooden board, and in my local charity store here in McLenny, I found this pair of bedside tables with wicker baskets built underneath, and they were asking $6 each, or $12 for the pair. You can see somebody painted these things light gray. This one here, I've actually dismantled it a bit. I've taken off these feet that you see here, and at the bottom there was a board, a mahogany veneer board with a wooden hardwood frame around it, which looked a bit like this one, which I have left the framework on 2 sides and taken the framework off other sides. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. And so here that is. So for the $12 there, I have potentially 4 boards that could be made into clocks. If I don't include the drawers. And actually the drawer here also contains quite a good looking board inside on the bottom, which is exactly 16 inches by 16 inches, which is what I want. So potentially 6 boards for $12 or $2 each, plus a whole bunch of screws, these feet, and various other fittings, including the drawers. So what I did was cut out a piece of this mahogany veneer and put it onto a clock board. Now I drilled a 1/4 inch hole in the middle, put a long thread, high torque battery movement inside there. It has to be a long thread to get through this board, which is about 3/4 of an inch thick. You see that. And online I bought a pair of long hands and a high torque movement, which doesn't actually fit in this board, but I'll use it for something else. And these hands, which were black, I sprayed them this color, the kind of cream color, and you can't really see unless you look closely, but the numbers that I put on the dial are actually made out of ordinary masking tape. And this is just a temporary measure to get an idea of what the clock will look like when it's finished. What I'm planning to do, I have a saw waiting delivery, is take these hardwood blocks, which came from a child's game, which I think cost about $7 in a can in Walmart, and make the numbers out of them and glue them onto the board permanently, and maybe varnish them. Now this clock is silent, or has a very silent, a very quiet tick. So what I am probably gonna do is build a sound module to do a chunk sound every minute, which is similar to what I've already done with my grandfather clock, which has a loud ticking, but it is, well, it's fake ticking, but it sounds like it's a loud ticker that is synchronized with the pendulum. Now, the only thing about this is that you're not going to have the hands jumping forward every minute. So what I'll further probably do is use an Arduino program to drive the clock motor to make it jump forward every 10 minutes, every minute, and make that synchronized with the chunking noise. And then you have a pretty good fake Pragotron clock, except for one thing: it doesn't have the Pragotron logo on it. However, I have downloaded an image of a Pragotron image, and what I'm planning to do is to print out it on photographic paper at Walmart. I think it costs 29 cents to do a picture, and cut that out, laminate it, and put it on the lower half of the dial underneath the center of the hands. And then we're going to have a Pragotron clock, and we're going to have about, including the hands, the movement, the wood, varnish, paint, and everything, we're going to have about $30 in it, well, maybe 40, depending on how you calculate the price. Anyway, that certainly beats spending $520 for a clock, which is going to be substantially the same. So, as I say, this is a work in progress, and I'm going to be publishing more videos when this is completed and finished, and see how good we can make it and how authentic we can make it look. The intention is not to create a forgery or a fake, but just to make an item of household decor which will be pleasing to the eye.